All right. What is up, chat? Welcome to the stream. Today is day 99 of live day trading NASDAQ futures. Today I'm here featured with a guest yet again. Joining me again is Stonks McGee. What's up, Stonks?
What up? What up?
Hey, nice. So, look, chat, I have a little confession to make. I actually made a trade earlier in the day today. So, that means I'm not really live trading. I'm actually just doing a recap. Some of you guys are familiar to this, so nothing crazy. But look, anyways, let's get down to the nitty gritty. I fucking blew my funded accounts. I had a crash out week, literally in the first week of, I guess, well, last Friday or the first week of January, which I really shouldn't have been trading anyways. Um, Honestly, it was just a bunch of silly mistakes. I made money in the morning session on gold, and then I just traded throughout the day and just lost money and blew all five 750k accounts, and I think my 300k funded on Alpha Futures. So, with that in mind, I spent the whole week doing some reflection, and I just realized the fuck I was just doing Donald Trump hands. Um, I just realized that look, I just need to stick with one strategy. I just need to stick with one setup, one time frame, and that is what I'm gonna do for these five 150k combines on Topstep. And I've got a few uh, evals on Alpha Futures, but I'm not going to really count that for the time being because I got them after I made today's trade. But let's dive into today's trade. So the strategy is at the moment it's a simple trend reversal, or I guess regression to the mean trade. And all we're doing, chat, is looking for or identifying a trend that is occurring on a middle time frame, on a time frame that spans 10 to 12 hours or so, 5 to 10 to 12 hours, and looking for the trend that is coming in that sort of time frame. After that, we kind of look for price to hit one of the top or the bottom of the trends, um, or the range, and then it overextends. Generally, we expect a pullback or a regression to the mean, as some statistical analysis or mathematicians call it. Nothing crazy. It's actually pretty simple. Let's dive into today's trade. Now, I actually do combine it with a little bit of market structure, understandings, and concepts. Sometimes, if I want to pair it with extra confluences like uh, Fibonacci stuff, but I don't really do that. For the time being, I just want to stick and make sure I get funded with these five accounts correctly with correct risk management, following one strategy at one single time frame every single day. That's the challenge, and the goal is to do that no matter what. No matter if like what happened over the weekend, Trump pounded Venezuela, and then he's gonna bomb Venezuela,
Are you
and
gonna bomb Venezuela?
and then we expected a gold move because gold loves war, and so gold completely skyrocketed this morning. I'm not gonna lie, I really wanted to jump in, but I didn't want to FOMO because I decided from today onwards, 5th of January, for the next 3 months at least, really, actually, really inevitably, if the profit is or if the strategy is profitable in the long term, just to stick with one thing, man. You know what I mean, chat? Okay, enough yapping. It's been a few minutes. Let's dive in. So, what we can see here is, I guess, over the past 12-ish hours or so, I don't even know how long this was. I just picked a range. Let me see. It says 2 days, 8 hours, but realistically, it's the weekend and whatnot. So what I did is from here to here, 2 hours, and from here to here, another 5 hours. So the past 7 hours, and I chose, I guess, the beginning of clearly identifiable market structure. I realistically could have also taken the range back here, but as you notice, it kind of did shift. It was bearish, and then here is where it started to make the bullish move, and so I wanted to take from where the bullish move started. Besides the point, I can make some refinements, but as you can see, we're clearly in a bullish trend. Okay, I did also wisely, in my opinion, marked up external or higher time frame structure. It's very important to see because maybe price is going to head into some sort of resistance, or in this case, protected high. So I was mindful of that, and so I marked it up. So you can see breaker structure here, protected high, protected low. And in this trend here, this is sort of what we call a higher time frame. It's over the span of a couple of days or so. But in this case, it's just to give us an idea, like it's in this, if we look on the 15-minute chart externally, or if we really want to get into it, on the 4-hour chart, you can see this sort of price action here was bearish, but it respected this 4-hour protected low, and it is potentially bullish. Now I say potentially because it hasn't broken protected high, nor has it broken the protected low. So the most recent internal movement in this sort of range is bullish. So as you can see, bullish on the 15-minute, bullish on the lower time frame. In this case, I had the 5-minute marked up over the past 5 hours or so. So bullish on the middle time frame. Bullish on the high time frame, bullish on the middle time frame, and we have just hit a protected high. This is making all good signs of a reversal. Now, do I need a massive reversal to make money? Not really. I just wanted to look for a small scalp, and that's what this plan does. And so as I have these confluences drawn up, both the range on the middle time frame and the high time frame and the protected structure that I drew up, this white line here, now I can look for a reaction, specifically just a quick reaction at this area of interest. And so as you zoom in, and we know that it's hit the range, as you can see here, you can see it's hit the range of this regression trend. It's hit the range. It can easily have a reaction and reject, and that's what I'm looking for. And all I need for confirmation is a lower time frame change of character, which I carefully waited for patiently here. And so if you have a look at here, let's say all you see is this, okay? All you see is this price action here. Price action is gently, very quietly creeping up bullish. So if I drop the breaker structure, here's the breaker structure. I'm just going to call it breaker structure here. I'm going to call this the protected low because it's been respected a few times. It didn't break through it. Okay, you have a breaker structure. Price continues to creep up. It continues creeping up. We have what we call an internal break. Now, it's not a clear breaker structure, but it's just like little movements along the way of the leg. So you've got an internal break here. You also got a little internal break here. Nothing that's majorly affecting the full breaker structure. So you notice that price continues to make its way up. And then when there's a clear distinction of a reversal, in this case, this piece here, it's reversed down. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Okay, so if let's say you didn't see that, price has gone up. Now it's started to reverse. And now you can see this has sort of built this like internal protected low. So now this is an internal protected low that we can keep an eye on. If price decides to break through that, make a change of character, what I call internal change of character, because it's internally to the high time frame structure. If price goes beneath it, closes beneath it, that is an internal change of character. And remember, we're in this area of interest right now, so very interesting to see. So as price continues to go through, I eventually find that it did break through. Now, it didn't cleanly close beneath it. And if I wanted to look on lower time frames, yeah, you might find it did close beneath. But in this case, it was a fair sweep. Like there was a bit of a sweep. If it like barely swept this protected low, internal protected low, and went up, I wouldn't consider that a sweep, or like I wouldn't consider that a break or a change of character. But because it swept it, and yes, it technically closed above, I think that's good enough to say that it swept this internal protected low, and now is an internal change of character. Once this internal change of character has been performed, we can easily make the suggestion that price has decided to go bearish. Like the previous higher lows aren't holding. So as this happened, I immediately looked for opportunities to short. Now I'll show you my chart execution so you know I'm not telling fibs. So as price retraces up, I am looking for a short in this area. And I can just easily cover the protected high, internal protected high, and I can target the leg, okay, of the range that we saw, which was 50% somewhere here. And I'll get to that a bit later. But for the time being, let's just keep an eye on this. Price is coming out here, okay, internal change of character made. I'm going to mark this up as a bit of an internal protected low, a new one because we're making lower moves. And as price sort of tapped into this really, I guess, 15-second fair value gap, nothing too crazy. I could have potentially even waited for something up here if I wanted to. But I wanted to, like, this is 15 seconds. Things happen quick, so I didn't really want to wait. I'd rather just get in before it shoots down and just expand my stop loss. I'm not too picky about that. So this is my stop loss. As you can see, price does continue to go up a little bit more. I enter here 4420, 4420. W please. Let me just move that over. Bang. Okay, so I enter here. Price does come up a little bit, and now it begins to, okay, it looks like it dawdled for a bit, and then it kind of broke this. And now we have an internal break. So now price is going bearish. It does the exact same thing that happened here. It's a bit of a sweep, and this time it did close below. So it went down, had a small retracement up, okay, and in this case, it just continues to go down. And so my stop loss was here. Usually I have an external, but in this case, I wanted to play a little bit safe. And so my take profit was actually around something like, I think here, which was, I think 50% of the regression. Okay, oh, there it is. So this line here, as you can see, this trend here, my original take profit was around here, okay? But if you quickly look inside 15 minutes, sometimes it doesn't give us the best price action. Oh, let me just go back to actually where I took profit. Here it is. So as you can see, price comes down, okay, makes this new internal protected low, okay, and then as you can see, if this is all that you see now, okay, if this is all you see, we can clearly see price on the lower time frame is bearish. Now, it's very important to note, yes, it tapped into this low and rejected. Why did it tap into this low? If we pull this back a bit, you can see that there is another internal protected low here. But in this case, it respected it. And it didn't make a cool sweep like this one did. It respected it quite well. Now this is when I started getting a bit concerned. I was like, holy shit, I actually need to be careful. And so I was on stream with some boys and we were watching it. And as you can see, a price came and it kind of retraced a little bit. It respected it again. Ooh, I was clenching. Okay. It was a bit scary. So I was a bit worried, but you know, I had some conviction. I actually doubled down and I shorted more here, but it kind of brought my average down, my average entry price. But look, doesn't matter because we're goated. It breaks through. Happy day. So it breaks through. Cool. Does a pretty cool break, internal break. I draw up this high now as the internal protected high. Now this is where it gets a bit dicey, chat. Now this is where I personally believe the skill of a real trader comes in, and it's being adaptable to the market and especially the conditions, because all we are as traders is people that can identify conditions, unique conditions, no matter whatever the market terrain is. We have to be able to identify the conditions that present a good opportunity for us to enter and exit the market. And so in this case, as price started creating this internal break, now we're getting an internal change of character to the bullish side. And I was like, holy shit, this is not good. So I was very, very wary, and I moved my stop loss to break even, so I didn't want to lose any more money. And then luckily, it kind of continued down. I did actually, as you can see, I entered more shorts here because I got the minerals. You know, I don't shy away, but it might have been a pretty bad idea, especially if it reversed upon me. But that's all right; it's a learning. So price continued to go down. Now this is where I got real diced up. It respected this internal protected low. As you can see, massive wick. And that's when I decided to exit. Okay, chat, overall, that was my trade. It happened over the span of 21 minutes. Okay, 21 minutes. Overall, 25, looks like 30 micro contracts all up. And I made 1.5%. So that's pretty good, I would say. And as you can see, if you really look, it sort of did a sweep. It comes back, it respects this internal protected high, or I guess internal change of character, and it breaks through again. So this is chop city, this is chop territory, and it's not good to trade. So if I was to zoom out now, you can just see, I'm assuming, like even if you just saw what was on that 15 second, this is just chop suey. We're not getting anywhere with this. We're not getting clear movement. I want to have a nice, impulse, or in this case, reversal, price action reverse into this area where I can TP and go about my day. But this is where the skill of a trader comes in. I had to decide to TP early, and that's what it is. As you can see, price doesn't even hit this original take profit. So that is today's trade. I think it was pretty well executed, chat. I don't want to FOMO. I the second I hit this W, I immediately locked myself out across all my 5 accounts, not having any repeats of last week. Where if you watch the other streams, I think day 97, I was up 4K, and or maybe day 98, I was up 4,000 on 5 different accounts, and or 4 different accounts. That's 16K up on a funded account, and I just blew it all pretty much. I brought it back to $90 profit on each account for the day. So ridiculousness, and we learned from that. That is essentially all we have for today, chat. I don't have anything else spectacular. I don't want to trade these night sessions; they're too hectic for me. But I have started a personal account, so um, that is going to be an exciting new journey. Because obviously, as traders, eventually one day, you want to be owning your own personal account with live funds on a regulated exchange, and that's where I'm at today. So happy days, chat. 1.5% up for the day. We are, I think, quarter of the way of passing these funded accounts. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The personal live account is going well. And yeah, I think Stonks McGee had a fantastic time today. Did well today in his session. Give us a bit of insight. Do you want to do a quick recap?
Look, let me go into my notes.
Yeah, I'll put the stream onto your thing so they can see. Okay, run us through your notes.
Oh, look, I'll run you through my headspace. Great, nice rest. It's just simple things.
Yep.
Current 2K downs. I made a mistake with silver. My mindset was I won't be doing that again. Trading silver way above my delegated contract size. So I traded as soon as I opened, and I lost about $2,000. That knocked me out, but it put me in a very bad position for my 100K funded accounts. So I took about 4 days off, so just to refresh. And so I started with 3 contracts. I scaled in to about 6 contracts, and I ended up taking a profit of 1.2K on my live funded. It's nowhere near making back, but I can't aim for that on the first go. Another thing was today we had a bit of news regarding the PMI. So what I did was using trusty ChatGPT and looking at reading through as to what these typically mean. So if we have a strong PMI, which means the manufacturing industry is expanding, it typically means that they'll be spending more money on NASDAQ or stocks, things like that. Whereas if it's lower, what usually happens is it supports gold prices. And as you can see, I'll go into mine. We ended up with a lower than expected value. So our expected value was 48.3 for the month. But if you look here, you'll see, oh, what is this? A series index of 47.9, which typically, what happens when something like that comes out is at 2 o'clock, that pumped gold prices up. I got in around about this price. So 2463.124. That doesn't seem right. Did I get in here? Did I? Yeah. 440.8. And then I closed out here. Bit of a gamble. But if you can see, I closed out somewhere around here. And I had it at the 4-hour low. A 3.5 risk to reward, scaling in twice. And then when I saw on the 15-second, as Brandy was saying as well, I saw it give a change of character, which means it is due for reversal. And as soon as Brandy said, I put a short in, I've already had my stop loss taken out because I've increased my stop loss to just below this. And if it changed character again, obviously you'll see, I guess, the change in price to a bearish movement. So overall, quite satisfied with that. I was aiming for this, but I think we have to adapt to the market. So yeah, that's currently what I've done today on gold.
Awesome, man. That's hella clear, and it's so good to see you adapting to the market, bro. That's I think the hallmark of a great trader. Bro, fantastic work, chat. That's everything that we have for today. Dubs all around, improving as a trader. 1%, not really caring about the dubs. I mean, they're cool, but as you can see, I have learned from past weeks to stick to a strategy until it's bitter end. Only to that one strategy. That's what I'm taking into the month here. And Stonks has decided to be a bit more adaptable and reactive to the market and having a tighter stop loss. I guess it's good to realize for him. I guess what's your key takeaway, Stonks?
Don't trade NASDAQ. Don't trade NASDAQ on market open. Two stupid trades. But I guess my reliance on fundamental analysis is going to also allow me to see more. I guess that was my main takeaway for today. Being able to predict the market with prior knowledge coming into the trades and using the technical analysis just to give me an extra edge to make sure that, like, obviously if gold's going to rise, it will rise, but it won't rise in a straight direction. So you want to minimize and capitalize as much profit as you can. So you have to find out where you're comfortable with. And I think that was my key takeaway today. Twice today I've performed on that with the scale-ins and stop losses. And on gold, NASDAQ was just pure FOMO and just not me. So I shouldn't do that. It's not NASDAQ's fault, my fault.
That's it. It's the one behind the keyboard. Well, chat, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys learned something new in this session. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Thank you very much, guys. See you later.
Bye.